I'm Sindhu. This is my father, Unnikrishnan. He is a retired army personnel, and this is my mother, Shyama Unnikrishnan. In 2007, my father got his aortic valve replaced. So from 2007 till now, that is 2024, he did not experience any symptoms and he was all fit and fine. Until April 2024, wherein he started experiencing shortness of breath and he was getting very much tired even while walking for a short distance. So when he started experiencing the symptoms, that's when all our anxiety and tension began. And I started researching on what next could be done for him, as doctor had suggested. Again, an open heart surgery would not be the right choice because it will have complications because of his age. He's 76 years now. And when I did my research, I came across a procedure called as TAVI.
TAVR stands for Trans-Aortic Valve Replacement, or it's also called as TAVI. This is a procedure where a tissue valve is placed into the original position of the patient's aortic valve, which is deceased, through a small hole which is made in the groin. This is achieved through taking the valve onto a balloon and through a small tube called as a catheter. Our patient was a 76-year-old who had undergone a aortic valve replacement in the year 2007, but only for the past 1 month he has been noticing difficulty on walking for even a short distances. He was evaluated elsewhere and was found to have there was a problem with his valve and was advised surgical correction, and hence he had come to us. When we saw him, we felt that there was a problem with not just two valves, and he seemed surgically prohibitively at high risk for a redo surgery simply because his lung condition and his age was not in his favor. Hence we planned for what was called as a Valve-in-Valve TAVI.
Then I did a bit of reading about the procedure, and I happened to see a couple of videos by Dr. Venkatesh of Aster RV Hospital explaining in detail about this procedure called as TAVI. And we were quite impressed watching those videos, and we even watched the patient testimonials, and that added a lot of relief and helped us to calm down our anxiety. And that's how we stepped into Aster RV Hospital, and we consulted Dr. Venkatesh, the lead consultant of the cardiology department.
Here is a 76-year-old patient who has had a valve surgery 10 years ago. Now he has had recurrence of his symptoms, breathlessness, because his valve has degenerated. The previously implanted artificial valve has degenerated. He also has another issue. The second valve, his own native valve, what we call as a mitral valve, has also degenerated. So he comes with issues related to two of his valves. So we had to evaluate him and understand what is the best way forward for this patient. One obvious thing would have been to subject him to an open heart surgery and remove both the valves, the native valve which is deceased and the artificial valve which is deceased, and put in new artificial valves. But 76-year-old with respiratory problems, already undergone a first heart surgery, the risk of second open heart surgery is prohibitively high, as my colleague explained. So therefore, we decided that we should put in valves into the deceased valves without having to do an open heart surgery. This technology, as we all know now by now, that this is called as Transcatheter technology. So here was a conundrum. Are we going to do the mitral valve first, the aortic valve first, or are we going to do both the valves simultaneously as a transcatheter procedure? After a long discussion, we decided that we will do it one after the other. The easier problem would be to put in a transcatheter valve in the already existing artificial valve, that is transcatheter valve-in-valve aortic replacement. Following that, we would have a better idea of the geometry of the heart, the position of the new artificial valve and its relationship with the mitral valve. So looking at all that, then if required, we wanted to place the mitral valve. So we went ahead and did this valve-in-valve TAVI or TAVR.
When we met Dr. Venkatesh, we had a lot of queries in our mind as a lay person about the procedure, like, what would be the complications of this procedure because he's already 76, as well as, what would be the duration of this procedure, plus, what would be the time taken for the recovery and when would he be discharged after the procedure. So these were, some queries which we had, and we had asked Dr. Venkatesh, for which he had explained very beautifully and, clarified all our queries, and we were very much satisfied. And it was also Dr. Dimpu who helped us with his advice throughout the procedure as well, and we had all set our mind to go ahead with the procedure.
Artificial aortic valve was implanted through the incision in the groin. The procedure has been well accepted all over the world, and it's a standard procedure. It doesn't require open heart surgery. It requires a short general anesthesia or a local anesthesia, and the patient is conscious. So either one of the ways we can do it. And in 24 hours, the patient was ambulating, walking around, and he was sent home after 48 hours.
We got him admitted a day before the procedure, and the procedure took around 1.5 to 2 hours, after which he was shifted to the CCU, that's a cardiac care unit. And during his stay at the cardiac care unit, all the staff, the doctors, the nurses, and all the staff in the CCU, extended a very good support, and utmost care was provided to him at the CCU. And after which, after 2 days, he was again discharged back to the ward. Now his condition, if you compare before the procedure and after the procedure, there is a lot of difference that we are seeing in him. Now he is able to resume all his daily activities, the routine activities like before, and he's no more experiencing any shortness of breath or difficulty in walking, and he's not getting tired like he used to get before while walking a short distance.
To our surprise, what we found was, once this aortic valve was replaced with an artificial valve, the mitral valve started improving. So the factor that emerged here is the mitral valve was having higher pressure because of the abnormally functioning aortic valve. And so once the aortic valve was fixed, the mitral valve pressure came down and he became better. That means he now doesn't have to undergo a second valve implantation. So this was a very unusual thing for us, where we thought that double valve replacement with transcatheter technology will be required, but we were able to get away with a single valve replacement.
Also to add on, since my father is a retired army personnel, he is an ECHS beneficiary, and Aster RV Hospital is an ECHS empaneled hospital, which is meant for ex-servicemen. And it was Mr. Pratap, the corporate manager, and Mr. Suresh, ECHS advisor, who helped us in making the process of availing all the ECHS benefit very smooth for us, which helped us in a smoother discharge process. We're really happy and glad to see him back to life, and all our thanks and gratitude to the entire team of cardiology department of Aster RV Hospital, headed by Dr. Venkatesh, Dr. Dimpu, Aisha, the coordinator, and the entire staff of CCU department for their utmost care and support that they gave to my father.
I would like to thank Dr. Venkatesh and his team of doctors and staff for the care and services rendered for me.